Gentlemen, back in the home office, and we have been in here working since very early this morning, and we are staying put for at least now. Why? Because of the inclement weather today, but never fear, your Pratte Pack just continues to do what we do best, and we have now decided to go to the Comcast news line, talk a little news in the way of the Beaver County Hall of Fame. Beaver County Times sports reporter Jim Equals on the line, and the Beaver County Sports Hall of Fame banquet is coming up April 29th, 2018 at the beautiful Fez. And we begin Blackhawk girls basketball coach Steve Ladavico, a guard on the state championship teams coached by John Miller in 1995 and 96. And as a coach, he has won 3 Whitfield championships and 2 state titles, and he is now in his 13th season. So, Mr. Equals, let's begin with Steve Ladavico, a member of the 2018 class Beaver County Hall of Fame.
Yeah, what a job he's done. I mean, he obviously playing for John Miller back in the day and learning a lot from John, and obviously he's brought that coaching ability to Blackhawk, and it's obvious with what he's done. It's interesting, the program. You hear so much about the boys program of Blackhawk because of John Miller, but the girls program, Steve is actually the 3rd consecutive girls coach they've had there who has gone into the Hall of Fame, who's had such a career that they have turned the spot in the Hall of Fame. So the girls program is equally as good at Blackhawk as the boys program. And Steve is actually interesting. He was part of both of them. He won a state championship on the boys team, and he's just been a tremendous coach out there coaching the girls program.
Mickey Bharati, an Ambridge native who's the strength and conditioning coach for the Ohio State football team. Tell me about Mickey.
I tell you, he's had a really long and distinguished career as a strength and conditioning coach, and he's been in some of the best programs in the nation. He's been at Notre Dame. Obviously now he's been at Ohio State. I believe he was at Florida prior to that. So he is really, he's made a name for himself as far as in strength and conditioning and for some of the best programs in the country.
All right, Dennis Derrick, a Hopewell native who retired last year after serving as the CEO of the Tri-State PGA. Dennis Derrick.
He's an interesting guy. He held that job for 43 years, and that's just amazing. Right out of college, I guess from what I understand, when he got out of college, he got into real estate for a little bit, and it wasn't a good fit for him, and got the job with the Tri-State PGA and stayed there for 43 years and had a tremendous career.
All right, we've got Luann Gazzetti Richardson, a Beaver Falls graduate who received a gymnastics scholarship to the University of Alabama in 1979. Tell me about her.
It's amazing when you look at somebody like her. Over the years, since I've been on the board of directors of the Hall of Fame, there are quite a few gymnasts that from the area that have gone on to do great things, and she just continues that tradition. She had a great career at Beaver Falls, and then moved on to Alabama, and really, like I say, it's overlooked in the Beaver Valley and Beaver County. But gymnastics, we put out some pretty tremendous gymnastics athletes over the years.
Talking to Jim Equals, longtime sports reporter of the Beaver County Times, also a big part of the Beaver County Sports Hall of Fame. Their big banquet coming up April 29th to induct the 2018 class into the hall. It'll be happening at the beautiful Fez in Hopewell. Next up, Jack Clark, a New Brighton native who spent 18 seasons in the major leagues, 10 of them with San Francisco. Jack Clark.
It's interesting with Jack. He's such a tremendous name in Major League Baseball. And he moved away when he was younger from New Brighton, but he really still considers this area his home. And when he was informed that we had elected him to our Hall of Fame, he was tremendously moved. We weren't real sure what he was gonna think, because like I say, he had moved away in his childhood. But I know when he would come back to the area, to play against the Pirates and stuff, I know he always came back to the area. He's very proud of his Beaver County roots, and so that's really tremendous tribute to the area, tribute to the Hall of Fame, and he's going to be a tremendous addition.
Also, Janet DiTullio, a Midland native who was a standout tennis player, Beaver High School in the 80s and Geneva College in the 90s.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Janet, she's a Beaver graduate, but she grew up in Midland. Back when she was in high school, the Midland kids attended Beaver, and when you think of Midland, you think of obviously you think of basketball, but when you look at the career she had, she really made a name for herself in the sport of tennis at Beaver and at Geneva, and a little further than that as well. So, again, when you think of Midland, you think of basketball, but she really made a name for herself and made her mark in that town as a tennis player.
Jim Equals on the Comcast Newsline tonight, talking the business of the Beaver County Sports Hall of Fame. Their induction for the 2018 class, April 29th at the Fez. You can get a hold of them via the Times, or of course you can go straight to the Hall of Fame, and that's where you'll get everything that you need. Now, up next, Reggie Smith, a New Brighton native who is in his 9th season as a football referee in the Big 12 Conference. Pretty big stuff here.
Oh yeah, what a career he's had. It's amazing. He started off. Actually, I was chatting with him on Saturday. And when you look, he started officiating right out of high school, doing high school officiating. So he was 19 years old the year after he graduated high school, and started officiating high school games. And he's going on to have a tremendous career. He told me his goal was to eventually make it to the NFL, and he's officiated games at the highest level of college football. He's officiated the Rose Bowl, and now he's in the Big 12 Conference, and so he's had quite the career. And interesting enough. As an athlete, when he was in high school, he was one of the best athletes in Beaver County. And, when you look, we're putting him in as an official, but his athletic career, at least as a high school, and he had a nice career at Robert Morris as well on the track team, but he could have been inducted as an athlete as well. We're inducting him as an official. But, just a tremendous name in Beaver County. Like you say, he started off making a name for himself as an athlete and has really carried on as an official and really done very well for himself.
Charlene Taylor, a senior guard for the Beaver Falls girls team, won the state 4A title in 1985. So congratulations to her too, right, Jim?
Oh yeah. You think she might have been overlooked back in the day because she played with Joy Jeter on those great teams, but she was every bit the player that Joy Jeter was, and she was such a contributor. She was kind of the Scottie Pippen to Jeter's Michael Jordan, but just a tremendous player back in the day.
Our Falls native, who's currently a senior associate athletic director at Arizona State University.
Yeah, he's been there quite a while. I think there's about 3 Beaver County guys on the athletic staff down there at Arizona State, and he's in a leadership role down there. He's really done well for himself down at Arizona State, and I know they're very proud of him down there as well. They've always been supportive. We've actually put a few other people from Arizona State into our hall, and they've always been supportive. And I know they're thrilled that Don Bakke is going in as well.
All right, listen, I don't need any notes for this next one. He is John Corrado. It was many years ago when I was doing a play-by-play basketball game at the Lincoln High School Gymnasium in Midland, and there was a young man there who was stringing, I believe, for the Beaver Allegheny County Times, and I believe he might have just been out of college or still in college at Geneva. And he said, look, can I help you? I said, yeah, would you mind giving me some stats? And that young man turned out to be, I believe, the most prolific sports writer to ever come out of our region. And he, of course, is respected across the country in the Major League Baseball ranks for a number of years, covering the Pirates at the Beaver County Times. But he has worked for everyone, including USA Today. And I believe he is the best baseball writer in America. Congratulations to a dear friend, and we both have such high regard for John Corrado, and I know he and Brenda have to be ecstatic about what's going to be happening April 29th.
Oh, they are. Yeah, I've been talking to him a lot since the induction, and he's just thrilled to go in, and he definitely I echo what you said about him as a baseball writer. He's definitely one of the best in the country, if not the best. He's just a tremendous talent down there, but he writes other sports as well, equally as well. I know he's been actually doing a little hockey now, and some of the stories are really great. I was just talking to him today, and he's getting ready to get down to Florida for spring training, and my wife and I have a home down there. He's going to rent the home from us while he's down there, and it's got to be 30-some years now that he's been covering baseball, and just tremendous. I couldn't be happier for John. Just one of my dear friends, and a guy that when I started the Times was just always a great friend. I know when I would be down there, and my wife would see that I was working. I would say, "Oh, I'm going to be working with John tonight." She goes, she knew I was going to be coming home late that night because we would just we write the paper and put it to bed, and everybody be hanging around the office, just kind of BSing a little bit and having a good time and stuff. So just a good guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, remember April 29, 2018 at the Fez in Hopewell, the 2018 edition of the class of the Beaver County Sports Hall of Fame. From the Beaver Allegheny County Times on the Comcast Business Line Sports Line tonight, he is Jim Equals. Jim, you and your wife, thank you so much as always for all that you do, and I hope you have a great rest of your evening and a better week ahead, okay?
Hey, thanks, Rob. You too.
All right, good night from the home office and your Pratte Pack.